Yeah.
Oh, we're live. And look, StreamYard even let me know we're live. I'm 2 for 2 today.
2 for 2.
It's a nice Friday. The weather is perfect. It's a great
Oh,
Friday.
well, that's
Feeling
cool.
good. Feeling good.
I'm waiting to
Feeling
see it pop
cool.
on mine. I don't see it on my line.
I always, anyway, while you're waiting and debating for
Well,
what's going on.
it's a little bit.
Yeah,
It
well,
takes
you
a
can
little
might
longer.
as well just tell people who you are. Let's get this
Yo,
out.
guys, what's up? It's your boy John, Coderized Lawson. I'm here, and I know what you're waiting for. So we're going to give it to you today.
Look, you got some new glasses on or something?
I do.
See, I'm on the ball. I can pick these things up because you know why?
Why?
Because I'm Brent Leary, and guess what?
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT. That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP.
He's referring to me, of course.
Oh,
I'm the GOAT, man. I'm the MVP.
okay. Well, as long
That's
as
what the people tell me. I'm just
as long
saying.
as you pick out your own
That's
clips, then I'm sure
what the
all it's gonna
people.
be.
The people. I mean, that guy was
The
very
people.
excited.
Who are these people?
He was very excited to meet me the other day. I don't know what to tell you. It feels good to be me. Anyway.
Okay. Well,
It's Friday afternoon. It's past the mic. It's like a free flowing Friday. I don't have any agendas or anything like that. You know what? It was a long week.
That's
Lots
not
of
an
stuff.
excuse.
Lots of stuff.
You can't be, dipping out on our audience, bro.
I could be doing whatever the frick I want to do.
Oh, that's sad.
Why is that sad?
Because I mean, this is an important show.
Yeah, all right. It's an important
so
show.
You can't be sleeping on this audience.
Yeah.
Because this audience is the most dedicated.
Oh, listen to this.
Audience.
Why are you kissing up to these people?
Because they are the most dedicated audience. I mean, like
anybody out there, are you really dedicated?
They're the GOAT audience. That's why they're the GOAT.
Hey. Jesus Christ. All right, Hey, if anybody's out there, let us know. Are you dedicated to us? Are you dedicated to this show? Are you really there for us in times of need? Really? Are you? Let us know. All I see
I wouldn't
is
go that far now.
I see
go
crickets.
That far. Yeah, I see
Nothing.
crickets. Well,
where your people's at?
The deal is, of course, you understand that there is a delay between when you ask questions and when it shows up on Facebook or LinkedIn. You do know that, right?
I don't know that.
Yeah, there's about like a 30-second, 40-second delay.
All I know is you put out your plea.
My plea to the world,
to the minions, the colder isoholics.
I'm letting them know, man. So that give them a few minutes. Let the timeline get lit up.
Hey, Coach John, this is that hurts my throat when I do that. Hey, you know what else hurts when I see this? Anyway, Chris Green, our buddy, our friend, our most optimistic person that ever watches our show.
Welcome to the weekend, baby. It's happening.
All right, let's get this out the way. All right,
get what out the way?
You know what you want to talk about?
Oh, the week.
What happened? The last bit of entertainment, I guess, so-called entertainment that happened on that, was it the second to last night?
It was the DNC. I mean, the whole. I need to really give props to the entire week of entertainment that I had this week. I have never. Did you watch the DNC at all?
I did, but yeah, Chris, you I have to say you do stumble reliably. You're a reliable stumbler. I like the way you put that.
Okay.
What's going on?
No, yeah. Anyway,
what do you get? Get some refreshments or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a good portion of it.
Did you see?
It was very well done overall. Very, very well done.
Yeah, very, very well done. And I watched both of them. For as much as I could. for the other one. The RNC was kind of sleepy for me, but the roll call,
Oh, your boy DJ Cassidy, whatever his name is.
Cassidy was incredible. That was incredible because I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, they're getting ready to do the roll call. I'll turn this thing off and come back to it. And so I started in the music. I'm like, wait, what are they doing? And I just thought that reimagined was amazing.
They took one of the driest things that ever takes place at that thing.
Yeah,
it made it fun. I mean, Little John coming out with the turn
of
down
course,
for one thing.
Georgia, we showing up, we show out. So that I loved, But even the song selections, as I started going back through it, it's become a playlist that you can actually get to. So if you want to, you can see what all the different songs were, what they were picked, why they were picked. It's just been an interesting, dive into that. So with that, that was my entertainment highlight of the week.
You know what? Not mine, because I I enjoyed Stevie Wonder. His voice sounded better than it has in years. I was very surprised.
I haven't noticed Stevie not sounding good.
There was a point in time a few years ago where his voice didn't sound as strong, and it seemed like he was straining to hit certain notes. But he was on point this week. He sounded great.
Yeah, Stevie did. It's always good to see Stevie.
It is.
At this point, he is definitely a patriarch of the of the Black movement, just in general. For long time, man. You expect him to come out, he comes out, he produces. Thank you, Stevie.
Yep, and he's been around since 1963, so you just think he should be ancient, but he's really, I think he's only like 73, but he's been around so long.
That's why they called him Little Stevie, because he was a teenager.
Yeah, Little Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, so he around that time where everybody else was, in their 20s, early 30s, he was just a teenager. So you look at the other Motowners, then you look at him and be like, oh, okay. There is some separation in age.
He's a lot younger than them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get to it.
Let's answer Chris's question.
Oh, you want to do that first? All right.
I think so. That's cool.
All right, Chris says, real question. All right. Should the Democrats reel back the celebrity endorsements? Could they backfire, annoy, alienate a portion? No. You know why? Because your boy, well, I'm not going to say your boy. The guy on the other side, he would love to have a lot of celebrity endorsements, and he would love to be able to. Oh yeah, Kid Rock, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. So it's like they had as many celebrities as
what's the guy from Joni Loves Chachi? That guy is he around again? Scott Baio.
Granted, their celebrities are not that relevant.
Yikes!
But they have celebrities,
Joe Rogan was he there? Was he at there?
No, I don't. He might have been. I don't remember.
And Dana White,
Dana White guy, bringing him on. Come on.
So Chris, could you be asked the same question? Should the Republicans be worried about the celebrities that they brought out? Because it seems to me the same number of celebrities are probably there. It's just that their celebrities aren't like the Beyonce kind of folks. They're like folks that were big, when Trump was in his 20s. That's the only difference, basically.
I guess,
Yeah, they're just, that's and
that's what you do. That's part of politics, has always been celebrity endorsements.
Yeah, and also you gotta the only reason that they weren't playing any good music at that event is those people said, please do not play my songs at your events. That's why there wasn't any real music there. They're like, yo, please
do not play. That was the other part too. That was the other good part. I thought, I was like, wow, they got the clearance for these songs.
Yeah.
Really said something. But I get it. I think for the DNC, they reeled back the number of celebrities. Literally, they could have had a parade of celebrities had they wanted to. You know, I heard that was the hottest ticket in Hollywood to try to get. So the fact of the matter is, they definitely turned down some possible endorsements.
Turned down for what?
Turned down for what?
And let's
Right?
also say they tried it out, celebrities to speak at the thing. It's just their celebrities weren't all that entertaining. I mean, look,
Yeah,
I'm not the biggest Oprah fan, but she made a great speech.
Yeah, she did.
And
She
she
did.
turned that audience up.
And you know, and she's not really a Democrat. She's an
No, well, she
independent.
said she's an independent.
Yeah, so
So
you know, I think there's going to be people that are going to push back on the celebrity factor, but overall, I think they both uh, went into the well of celebrity,
yeah,
and you know, it is what it is.
it is what it is. One side just was much more effective with it. That's all.
Yeah,
You
I
got
thought
maybe the question is why was the other side not as effective as
Hmm.
opposed to why was this side really effective? Because they both were shooting for it, and
I
it
mean,
is what
Hulk
it is.
Hogan pulled his shirt off. So
Well, you know, Mean Gene. No, sorry,
I didn't know.
you
You
know,
had a Hulk
brother.
in there.
When the Hulk, what you gonna do when the Hulkamaniacs run crazy over there? I mean, that's
Oh my
you
gosh.
know how that's entertaining, isn't it, Chris? I mean, come on, how
Yeah,
can you compete
absolutely.
with that? How could you
Yeah, it was.
compete?
They had to try to come up with something, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, all right, let's get to the one that they didn't come up with that I don't think they remotely came close to pulling. I'll let you start because you're the one that's been teasing what you want to say about this.
So, you know, on the night of the VP acceptance speech for Tim Walz, they decided that they should do a tribute to the one, the only Minneapolis's greatest creation, Prince.
Right.
And they chose
Just a
one
great song.
of
Great song to
his,
kick it off.
definitely
Great
one of
song.
his most well-known songs,
Yep.
one of his party starters.
Yep.
You know, Let's Go Crazy. They decided to bring out Sheila E.
Which was great. Great seeing Sheila.
Always good to see Sheila.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. And they let it off with John Legend.
Hey, I love John Legend.
I don't love John Legend.
I think he's a very talented person.
He
generally
is
speaking.
extremely talented.
Yes.
He is an amazing talent.
Yes, he is.
You cannot deny that he is.
Can't hate
But
him.
wisdom of Simon Cowell, it simply says it's all about song choice. And that was not a good song choice
For him.
for him. No, it was not. He got completely lost in that song, and I don't think he ever commanded that performance. It was just a little lackluster for me.
You're being way too nice about this.
I'm trying to be very
I don't know why you're front.
democratic about it. He didn't miss any notes.
I wished he would have actually. That might have been a little better.
Okay, well, what did you think, Brent?
It was a hideous decision to have him sing that song. Absolute rubbish. That's not his style. That's not what he look. All right, I am totally biased. I just do not like anybody doing Prince covers. There's not many that I could point to say I really enjoyed. That was a tragedy that took place because that just does. You don't think of him as the upbeat. I know he did the "I'm Ready to Go Right Now" song, but that's not "Let's Go Crazy." That's not what Prince does to that song. That's not, the emotion and the power and electricity that Prince. Nobody can really replicate that. All right, so
I've seen somebody actually replicate it.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, you said.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, actually, if you guys go out there and look up Janelle Monáe had to do a BET.
Well, Janelle Monáe, you're right. She's great, but once again, there's a connection to Prince there.
Well, I'm just saying, it's just her version of doing.
She brings that
crazy.
energy.
She brought
she's
the energy.
Pretty good,
right.
but she has a direct lineage to Prince.
I mean, Prince has a huge song catalog.
Huge.
John Legend could have picked a good song in there and done it well.
No, you know what? I like the song choice better than I would say this is the song that because it's upbeat. It's so
Right,
electric.
exactly. Yeah, I
So get
agree.
somebody that I would
Somebody
have
could have
liked
brought it.
Janelle Monáe. I would have
It would have
definitely
been it
liked
would
her
have
to do
been
that.
showstopper. Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I don't even know why they didn't even think about that. I mean, like put Janelle Monáe and Sheila E on stage. That would
Oh, the
have been like
electricity would have been
exactly
crazy.
for that song, for that song.
And you know
John
what else they
Legend.
could have done because there's a tie to this guy with Prince.
Who's that?
Kendrick Lamar was a big fan of Prince. Remember, they
Yes,
actually did a show together.
they did. They
And
did.
as high as he is right now, they could have really done so. And of course, Beyonce, maybe she
Well,
would have been a part of that.
she couldn't go.
No, I'm just saying.
They decided she
John
couldn't.
Legend is a great talent, generally speaking, but he wasn't built for that. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm saying.
Poor John Legend. He got swallowed up on that stage.
Good evening. Actually, you know what? I'm taking my good evening back because I just noticed he said good
Who?
evening, sir.
What's wrong with that?
Mozzie Vincent, because I'm guessing he's talking to you. Isn't that one of your guys?
I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah. So he said good
Guys,
evening, sir.
he might be talking to you, bro.
Yeah, I doubt it because he don't know me.
You
You don't know me. You don't know how anyway. Pierre, now I know Pierre.
know Pierre?
Yeah. Oh, John doing housequake. No,
Man.
no, I can't see it. No,
No.
I can't see it.
No.
He's too smooth. He's too smooth a guy. I can't see him doing hype, upbeat.
I'm trying to think of it. Go to his next question. Now, he could have done anything at a piano, which wouldn't work because you need something. He could have done any of the, how come you don't call me anymore? All of those kind of songs, but none of those kind of would go in line with this. What would be a good song for John Legend?
From the Prince catalog.
Yeah.
That would have fit that time, that what it was there to do. I don't know, man.
It's a hard call.
Because I think of him, I think if he's smooth,
adult contemporary.
Yeah.
Kind of vibes.
Yeah, but I don't think of electricity. I don't think of, that kind of thing. That vibe is not there.
Yeah. He's just not, it's just not a good fit for him.
No. So that's why I'm saying great song choice.
Yes.
They needed a different person to perform it. That's and that's no shade on John Legend because, like I said, he's extremely talented.
Right. He could do any of the slower songs. Probably he probably wouldn't bring all the growl of Prince, but I mean, he could have done those and probably done them well.
All right. So you couldn't come up with a Prince song?
Not one. If I'm putting together this show and I
Right.
want to come up with a song that we got John, what would we do with John? I don't know where to put him.
Yeah, because I'm really stumped.
I'm trying to think of a good one for John Legend, and you can't. You know what? Honestly, I think he could pull off 1999. However, you can't do 1999 going into a 2024 election. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's like for an upbeat kind of song, he could have done 1999.
He might have been able to pull off Kiss. I don't know.
No, I don't think he could pull off. No, he could not pull off Kiss. See, that's the thing. It's got to be something that doesn't have the sexy in it. Because I'm sorry, I know they called him the sexiest man alive. Whatever, John. No, that just doesn't work. I noticed he pulled a button out of his shirt to be on stage that night. I mean, that shirt was pretty deep V. I'm like, dude, stop. Okay, all of that just didn't work for me.
They could have brought the time. They should have brought Morris Day.
Exactly. Now that was another, problem I think some people had. It's like you're doing Minneapolis and nobody on stage is from Minneapolis.
The only connection to Prince that was on that stage that I know of at least was Sheila E.
But she's not from there, so
yeah, but that's okay because he made her a part of that sound.
Yeah, she was part of the sound. Absolutely. I mean,
but they could have brought Morris Day.
Yeah. If they could have, that would have been like crazy.
They could have, but I bet the time would have reformed just to do
just for that. Oh yeah, they would have. in a heartbeat, and
And
that
that
would have
would have
been
been
great.
so that would have been awesome.
Right. I would love to see they could come out and do any of their songs. They could do the Bird. Man, can you imagine that whole place doing the Bird? That would be
Oh
crazy.
man.
You know?
Jungle Love. I mean,
Yeah, well, Jungle Love's a little, yeah.
oh.
We don't want to have Jungle Love. And you know what I'm saying? See, that was another thing I'm sure they had to keep thinking about.
They could have done like,
what are we gonna?
well, they could have done a lot. Cool. I mean, they could do a lot of that.
Oh man, yeah. So, any rate, I think they missed an opportunity.
They struck the hell
and,
out on that. I'm sorry.
John Legend, honestly, bro, you're such an accomplished musician. You know that wasn't a song for you to do. You know you would have never touched that. You just did that to be on stage.
Yeah, that is, I hadn't really thought about that, but I guess you're right. I mean, he just wanted to be on the stage bad enough to do something that's completely out of his element.
Yeah. It was just weird. It just did not work for me. And had they not had that young lady on guitar, it would have been a total.
Okay, so this is where we diverge because once
didn't
again,
like her.
Look, I'm a huge Prince fan when it comes to especially with the guitar and what he does with the guitar. And it's hard for me to listen to anybody else try to replicate that.
Yeah.
And what she did mostly, this is just me personally, is the theatrical part. She was really on the ground and flipping her hair. I mean, no, I'm sorry. That didn't work for me at all. So, I mean, she wasn't terrible.
I thought she did a good solo at the end.
She wasn't terrible, but no.
Yeah, okay. She wasn't terrible.
No.
Okay.
And maybe John Legend had already soured me to the point where nothing could save that.
It just wasn't going to work after that.
Yeah, I got it.
You're funny.
It was terrible. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Almost made me want to throw out my John Legend CDs, but I kept them because he does.
Now, let me just tell you, I have seen John Legend perform live, I want to say 4 times, 3 or 4 times. And every time I've seen John Legend perform, I didn't buy the ticket to go see John Legend perform. I get to the place and it's like, and our opening act is John Legend. I'm like, oh, kill me now. Yeah, I never forget, man. I went to see Sting, John Legend. I went to see Patti LaBelle, John Legend.
So he's like the opening act or something?
He was the open. These are years, when he was still an opening act kind of guy.
Okay.
Now he could probably pull off, of course, having his own tour and whatnot. But, he was one of the, it's almost like a co-headlining kind of thing, but he would be first. But yeah, I was, and every time I was like, no, not John.
All right,
he does all those, slow, sappy songs.
Yeah, which is okay,
So you got the CDs.
Yeah, there's a time and a place for that. It just wasn't that night in front of that audience for that reason, playing that song. I think I got it all out. All right, we beat up on this guy enough.
Okay.
I think. Let's go to something else. You got anything, Pierre or Chris? Anything? If you guys got a topic you want to talk about, throw it out there. We might beat it around a bit. I'm totally open to it.
It's just hard for me to stay off of politics right now.
All right, go into it.
Well, I mean, Tim Walt's son was one of the most touching moments.
Yeah.
Literally brought a tear to my eye just to see him so excited and happy and proud of his dad,
Yeah.
I mean, that was just an amazing thing. And to get on Twitter the next day and see these trashy comments from these
trolls,
trashy people, I could not. It just really I mean, Ann Coulter. I mean, come on, you're this is a 17-year-old kid, and I mean, he is on the spectrum. He's a little developmentally, challenged in that way. And for you to say in it, and I didn't even know it until
I didn't either.
Started. Right.
But you could kind of sense there's something a little, yeah. But like I mean, when he said that's my dad, like pointing
That yes,
that was like, whoa.
that's when it really just like he's
Yeah.
like, come on, that's my. It was like, oh my god, because I mean, we all, especially you and I, after losing our fathers, and just thinking about that emotion,
Yeah.
and it's like it was such a real moment, and for anybody to piss on that, I couldn't understand. I
It was
couldn't
just
understand.
disgusting. That Ann Coulter. Oh,
Oh, she's trash. She's trash.
jeez.
You know.
But yeah,
Um,
that was such a it was so unscripted,
yeah,
It was just the kid was just you're a good parent when one of your children reacts like that.
yeah,
I mean, there
yes,
was no script involved in that.
yeah. I mean, that is definitely the most wholesome moment of the entire week for me. It was just like, wow, wow, and all of a sudden, I felt like I knew who that person was and that family was. It was just,
Yeah.
it gave you insight that
Look,
I was not expecting.
if you didn't know anything more about Tim Walz, that shows you what kind of person he is.
Right.
I mean, and not his daughter was just was right there too, but Gus, everybody knows Gus now. Gus Walls, that was special. I don't care what those clowns say. But let's do this. Let's go to this is an interesting one. Pierre
Mm,
says the trolling reflects Musk's non-policing of the site. You know what? It's partially that. I don't know how you would have been able to not let that happen anyway. I don't
right.
know
It's just a
if it's
person's opinion.
yeah, it's a terrible opinion from some terrible people, but
Right.
in the end, it's not like he's saying do harm to, you go out and do something bad. It's just very terrible and ignorant statements made by some really inhuman people.
But let's pick this apart.
Mhm.
Should they be uh,
Allowed
policing
to
the
do that.
site? Yeah. Would
Look,
you?
as much as I don't like those statements,
Right.
they didn't say anything like "let's go get them" or they didn't dox them. Like, all right, let's go to their address and see. It were just ignorant statements, and unfortunately, you have to put up with the ignorant statements if you want to live in a free society.
Yeah.
And it says more about them that they make those statements than it says about us that those statements are able to be made.
Yeah. I
And
agree. I mean,
yeah,
It gave me just the same way it gave us insight into Tim Walsh and the kind of person he is. It gave me insight to those folks and their followers because all the things that were on those timelines at the same time were just as disgusting as the original poster. I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, are you people serious? And then what irritates me is that even good, I'm going to say it, even good Republicans won't stand up and say something about, I don't
no,
understand that
I won't go that far
kind
because
of
there were some
thing.
people that
Were there? I
absolutely
hope
there
so.
are
I
people
hope
who
so.
called that kind of stuff out that
Good.
are Republicans. Uh, and you don't. It shouldn't really even have to be a case of what kind of political affiliation you have.
It shouldn't.
If that was the Republican guy, JV Vance or whatever his name is, I like JV better than JR.
Oh,
If
okay.
it was his kid that did that, I would feel the same way. I was like, man, I wouldn't vote for him, but he must be doing something right if his kid
Yeah.
responds to him like that.
Yeah. And I definitely wouldn't troll them.
Of course not.
I mean,
I mean
God,
that was just
dog, dude.
do you have a heart in your body is the question around that.
Mm.
Pierre, let us know what do you think of that? Let us know do you think there should be some policing when it's
Of
these
Twitter
inhuman
and these kind
statements?
of things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think there should be. I believe in the self-policing, and unfortunately, you have people that are just so ignorant that they do and say things that are just hurtful and harmful, but they're not illegal. So, that's kind of where I stand on it. That's why I don't
Oh,
spend a whole lot of time on Twitter, to be honest with you, because of that kind of stuff being out
Do
there.
you believe I actually bought Twitter?
I was going to ask you about that. I was like, what moved you to do that?
So they just released Grok 2.
Right.
All right. And of course, since I'm in the AI field, I wanted to be able to talk intelligently about Grok. And in order to get an access to it, you had to be a pro user of Twitter. So I went ahead and paid the $8. And I'm really excited about uh, some of the abilities that it has, mainly its ability to create images, because they have a image generator that they've partnered with a new AI image generating company, and the images are pretty incredible. So,
Yeah,
the only way to do it was to do it.
yeah, that's I understand. That's a totally understandable thing. I ain't giving that guy one red
I
cent.
know.
I can't do it, and
I
I don't care
know.
how limiting it is for certain events and certain things we do with streaming. I just don't feel like doing that.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I mean, the it it I didn't pay for it for the year. I'll pay for it to do a couple of things and play around with it, make some, we'll see where it goes. Because I really don't, and I'm with you on that, I don't like giving any of my support to this knucklehead. Because you know how I feel. Don't get me started.
By the way, did you see that thing about the banks giving him $13 billion to help him buy Twitter? Is like considered the worst loan since 2008.
No, well, maybe that's why people are talking bad about, investments in the AI space.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know if that was in the AI space, but
I don't know. I mean, yeah. So what did it say? Tell me a little bit.
Oh, let's say the bank's loaning him $13 billion to help him, buy Twitter for $44 billion is like the worst deal that the banks have made since the financial crisis of 2009. And because they're not going to get their money back,
No, they're not.
it's already being lost. And so I like, okay, well, are we supposed to shed a tear on that one?
No.
I'm just,
You should have known that.
$44 billion was way much of a stretch. That people were saying that back at the time.
Yeah.
It's like, why the hell would he spend $44 billion on that?
Yeah.
And, well, you had an answer to that. You were thinking
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
political reasons.
Totally. And look who's back, yapping on the platform. Back in the day, I said Elon spending that money so he can cozy up to Trump, and he did. He got the interview with him, and now he's back.
Which was terrible.
Trash.
It was
trash.
First of all, it took an hour before they could even start the sucker. I mean, because the platform wasn't ready to handle that.
It's insane, man.
We got to look at what Pierre is saying here, because he's let's go. Well, I'll go in order here. Do we think the U.S. is ready for robo taxi? All right, Pierre, are you ready to sit in an autonomous car? Let us know. Maybe that might be the answer that the general audience is going to give. Me personally, I ain't ready to get no driverless cars right now. Are you?
I think if they have a driver in there, I'd get in for now.
I was out in San Francisco.
It a little bit first.
Well, they're actually doing though. I was in San Francisco, I don't know, like 7 or 8 months ago, and there was every time I looked on the street, there was autonomous taxis.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
And they were like in serious rush hour traffic, and I was like, oh, I saw somebody get in one. I'm like, oh hell no, that ain't gonna be me. But it was really interesting to see it. Now I'm getting ready to go back out there for Dreamforce in about a month. And I am fascinated to see how many of those things are out there and people getting into them now compared to like 7 or 8 months ago. Okay. I ain't ready for it. Pierre, let us know. Are you open to it? Are you ready for it? Have you tried it? I haven't. I'll let the kinks get worked out before I get in one of those suckers, because I just can't trust it yet.
I'd try it. I'd
try it. Okay.
I'd try it, in regular city traffic. I'd give it a go.
Would you try it in Atlanta traffic?
Yeah, I would. Not on the highway though. I don't want to do it on the highway.
No, I don't think they're doing any highway
Right.
driving yet.
So I mean, because city traffic is, I mean, it's just stop and go. It's not going to be over 40 miles an hour kind of thing.
They even said like these suckers. I saw it. They blow a horn like they're a human.
Really?
Yeah, they
I
blow
love
horns.
it.
I was like, damn, this is crazy.
That's cool. Yeah, I'd give it a try. I mean, hey, I'm looking forward to all autonomous vehicles. I hope that happens sooner than later. That would be awesome.
All right, what is he saying here? Okay, he was talking about safety is a part of the ecosystem to justify uses. Once must fell down on the job, it's hard to build interest in grok or anything else.
Yeah.
Oh, so do you think safety or the lack thereof is going to hinder what the growth of grok? I don't even know how you say that. Grok on the X platform.
In terms of the image generation,
I don't know. Just to justify using it. I don't quite. I don't know enough about grok. I
okay,
know.
safety is part of the ecosystem to justify its usage.
I don't safety. I don't. All right, let's kind of step back on that one a little bit. What social network do you generally see as being safe?
None of them.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I see anything that's really uh, promoting real hardcore safety on any of these platforms.
No.
Not yet, at least. I mean,
I wonder if a safe platform would actually work.
You know what? No.
You
Because
don't
look,
think so?
no, because most people like to be, don't want any boundaries placed on them. They don't want anybody telling them what they can and cannot do. And that's why certain platforms always grow faster than others, because there are less limits and there are less things you have to be worried about. That's why, yeah, I don't think, I think they're necessary because it would be great to be able, if I had a kid, I don't want them running free on some of these platforms because of the lack of.
Oh no.
Yeah, I would love to have them, a safe place for kids to be able to collaborate and communicate safely. But guess what? They wouldn't even want to be on those networks because they want to be out there wilding on TikTok and all that stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
I don't. Oh, let's see. Threads or Chatter, maybe. All right, we talked a little bit. I'll tell you why that would probably be safe. How many people do you know on Threads at all?
All right, look. You talked about this earlier on
Yes.
an earlier hour,
Yep.
and I'm going right now to check you on this.
Oh, all right. Go check me.
So,
I'm ready to get checked.
How many? Let's do this. Let's go to Perplexity because that'll give us some idea. And I'm going to ask it, how many daily
Active daily
active
users. Yep.
users on Threads? I think this is going to shock you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Threads has approximately 33 million daily active users. That's huge, bro.
Not in the big scope of things. Remember when they first got started and it was like 100 million people signed up, like in the first week or something. It's like it wasn't as
well. They didn't sign up; they opted them in.
Well, yeah, because all right. So, how many people are daily active on Facebook? Generally speaking, like 3 billion or 2 billion or something like that. So when you think of that's like not even 1/10. That's like 1/10 of a percentage pointer. No, it's about 1%. 1%. That's not big.
Okay, but I mean, TikTok wasn't big at one point either.
No, but what I'm saying is Facebook already had a huge 3 billion daily active user footprint that they layered Threads on top of.
Well, it was Instagram. So let's ask that.
All right.
What is IG daily active user? So Instagram's daily active users 500 million. Okay. So there you go. So we got
So that's about
30 million to 500 million.
6%.
6%. Okay, let's give it 6%.
And you know, that ain't all that big because it's been out for what, over a year at this point, or around a year.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was July.
So that the uptake is slow when you think of it in those terms. Look at, I mean, because when you open AI went from no users to 100 million users in like a week.
So here's the deal. Here's the numbers they're saying that it started at launch with 41 or 42 million daily active. It peaked at 49 million and then dropped in August of 2023 to 10.3 million.
Hmm.
Okay. So now they're at 33 million. So they've actually tripled their daily active users from the peak drop off, which
in a year.
in a year.
So the numbers still are relatively speaking
Small,
still small.
but growing.
We'll see what it's like a year from now.
And
You might be right.
they just added the ability to do analytics.
Yeah, that's what we talked about a little bit. They just came out with some new content creators skills to help them do their thing. Yeah, we'll see.
And then it says overall monthly active users is 200 million, which is probably a better read on the usage.
Monthly is a big difference than daily.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I mean,
now you would think that some of those monthlies will work their way up to dailies if traditional progressions kind of hold on. But how long will that take? I mean, so this been around for what, a year and a half? It sounds like maybe a little bit longer than that.
yeah. So just listen to this number. In March 2014, guess who was at 200 million?
But YouTube,
Instagram.
All right.
And now they're at 1 billion monthly.
Yeah, that's
Over 1 billion at this point.
Yeah,
so, I mean, there's a
yeah, but once again,
here.
there was already a built-in audience for Instagram that they layered threads on top of, so it wasn't coming from scratch to where they are. There's a built-in advantage,
which is possibly good because now maybe some of the Instagram user base is starting to get used to checking maybe both places, and maybe that's why they've grown from 10 to 30.
Maybe, or maybe it's just they switch from one thing, try the next new thing that people flock to that. I would love to see the pattern, the trend for each of these things over the first 2 years that they were out, to see, because the hype comes and then the disillusionment comes and then everybody jumps off and then some of the folks hang around and they start seeing some benefits and that starts kind of driving things back up again. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out because once again, you look at how TikTok came out. It's a different trajectory than what Threads came out.
So here's the deal. And if you think about this too, people have to find use for it. Right. Because TikTok in its iteration, in its real beginning, was only what was the one before TikTok that went out of business?
Oh, the video thing?
Yeah. You remember? You know what I'm talking about. The short video.
There was the one that Twitter bought,
not that
Periscope.
One. Not that one.
Vine.
Yes. So TikTok was Vine. Just at the right time.
Right.
So
was Vine like ridiculously short, like 12 seconds or something like that?
I think it was like, it might have even been, it was very short, but I mean TikTok was very short.
Was it that short?
At the beginning, yes.
Wow, I didn't know that was that short.
Yeah, and then it went to 30 and and then it got to 60 and now it's at like 3 or something. I don't know what.
No, once again, remember
they do long formatted videos now.
Remember when Twitter bought Periscope?
Yeah, and
drove it into the ground, basically.
Which was so sad. Used to like that platform, but at the same time, there were other platforms that were popping up doing the same thing, and none of them really survived.
That's true. Well,
You
I mean,
know,
let's face it. So all these things have popped up, but YouTube, TikTok, and IG Live, I guess, is pretty strong.
yeah.
Um, I don't. Is Facebook strong compared to the other ones?
In
Like
terms of
of the
Reels,
video shorts and stuff.
yeah, Reels is doing great.
Reels is doing. Vine did not last. Yeah, that did. Yeah, that didn't last very long at all.
Yeah,
Why do you think some of these things who come out and have the first mover advantage don't make the big hit like some things that come out after them and completely just overtake them and keep on moving?
I think it's the users. The users sort of define, hey, this is good to do X, Y, Z, and then others are like, yeah, have you seen so and so doing that on this? And then it just grows from there. That's what I don't know. But certain things can, this is why I tell everybody you don't have to be first to win. You know, you don't have to be first to market because rarely the first to do it wins. You know, it's like you remember when. Here's the thing: we were just talking about how Gen Z has their. What were we talking about?
Oh, a buying
The
power.
alphas, really, that they have their location turned on,
Oh,
right?
okay, right.
And then I was just thinking about that. We used to do that way back in the day because we had
Yeah,
Foursquare.
Foursquare when it first came out, everybody was doing that.
Right. You would go past something and say, I'm here and let everybody know I'm here.
But you know
But
what
it was
killed that?
early before time. What killed that?
When Facebook and these other platforms have already had you added that capability, that functionality in. So it really, why'd you need Foursquare anymore? Because that was a standalone location app versus being a part of the platform that people
Yeah,
go to anyway.
I here's the thing. You would become king of a spot. I think it was a king or whatever.
Yeah,
You'd be the mayor. You'd be the mayor, right?
yeah.
But these places, these small business places were giving you incentives for posting and they don't do that. I mean, you could probably do that today. It's like, hey, if you do a check-in on Facebook,
Well, here, I
we'll
mean,
give you a free drink.
but see what they were trying to do with those things, and you remember that, what was it? Groupon.
Groupon.
All that stuff, all those kind of things, platforms, and badges and all that. That was just customer acquisition. And they didn't want to have to, once
Absolutely.
they acquire you, they didn't want to have to keep doing that kind of stuff to bring you back in. They want to acquire you at that at the cost of whatever it costs them to get you to put on a badge, and then switch you over to not having the always have to pay you to get in. And
But that's
after a
when you got to
while,
bring them over.
yeah, but a lot of people were
You
never
didn't have
able
the
to
program.
really. They didn't know how to make that conversion, that transition, and
Right.
so after a while, it's like, man, I'm tired of this.
The gamification is fantastic, though,
Yeah,
right? So let's say you bring the people in and then you get them into a monthly recurring revenue kind of model where they're able to get a coffee a day if they pay to be
in your loyalty
in
program,
your program.
that's the way that should have worked,
Right.
but because either you do your marketing and you spend whatever $20 per lead is, I don't know, depending on what kind of business you're in. You don't want to have to always be paying that
No.
to get the same person over and over again. And I
Right.
think that's where a lot of these businesses are like, wow,
That didn't work out.
it didn't really work the way we thought it would.
But I mean, it's like Prime Day. Prime Day, they spend a lot of money to get people into their monthly recurring program, and that lifetime value of that customer that becomes a Prime member, they know that number. And as if you've got that all the way teased out, then your cost of acquisition can make sense, even though it looks like you're giving it away.
But the beauty of Prime Day from a consumer perspective is, yeah, we pay an annual fee, but we get discounted stuff when we buy.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for a consumer to say that, and it makes sense for Amazon to do that. Once again, when you're operating at the scale that they're operating, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, maybe billions of people buying stuff, you can afford to do certain play with around the edges with that.
I
Now
mean,
it might
that's
squeeze out your
true.
kind of folks. It might squeeze out the middleman a little bit more,
Uh-huh.
but at the top,
Well, I mean, the thing is, they have to be just as profitable as everybody else.
yeah, but see, here's the thing. Everybody else doesn't have a retail section and a AWS section
Well,
that
yeah. I
helps
mean,
to,
if we keep it just to,
but
you
you
know,
you really can't at this point, right? I mean, you got
uh,
in the ad platform, which is another way they're printing money, and a subscription like the Prime and other
they
things.
ain't printing the damn money. They taking it out of my pocket. Let's be clear. They ain't printing shit.
Oh,
It's called
let's
squeezing.
talk about one other thing before we go.
What's that?
JD.com.
Oh, okay. And Walmart.
Should we say we do you well, JD? Wait a minute, is that like a sign? JD.com goes away. JD Vance, maybe he'll go away too.
Ooh, you said it. I didn't. And that would be lovely.
So let's talk about this. What they paid $3 billion for that about 10 years ago or something like that? It was a lot of money. I think
it was a lot of money at the time.
Yep.
And then they've done pretty much nothing with it, which is, not abnormal. Seems to be for Walmart. About to say Amazon.
To their credit, though, I think it's to their credit.
Okay.
They seem to have invested in Walmart Plus or Walmart, their Prime equivalent.
Yeah.
But it
maybe
just
they learned something.
Maybe they got something out of that, and then once they got it all, and what did they sell it for? It wasn't I can't even remember. Or did they just shut it down? Did they just shut it down or did they sell it?
They said they were divesting from it.
So they just it's let's see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, let's see if we can pull it. Walmart dumps their entire stake in JD.com.
So they sold it off, I guess.
So they just
for like
it.
A peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something like that.
It's unloading its entire stock in JD.com.
So they spent $3 billion, and what it says Walmart offloads JD stake for $3.6 billion. So they bought it for $3. They 10 years later they sell it for $3.6. That's not a really good
no, because I'm sure there's other expenses that have been there.
Yeah, that's not a win if you ask me.
Yeah, and now I mean their future's probably dead in the water.
Really? Oh, what the JD? I don't know why anybody would buy that.
At least in the US.
Oh, okay, so apparently they sold it to one of China's biggest e-commerce companies.
Which would be
Let's see if they actually name
Baidu.
Let's see if they name it here. That's interesting. JD Walmart has sold its entire stake, raising $3.6 billion and ending an eight-year investment. 8-year investment in the Chinese e-commerce. It was a Chinese company? I didn't know that. I thought it was okay. It says I'm trying to see if it actually says who's buying this stake. Why is it such a secret?
Mine either.
I wonder why it's such a secret.
Maybe because it's not closed yet.
Yeah, okay, maybe. But that was a heavy price to pay, and I don't know what they actually got out of it.
Maybe they learned a lot, and that's what helped them build their, Walmart program, Walmart Plus.
Maybe. I mean, there's got to be something that came out of that thing. So
you would think, right?
But one thing that didn't come out of it, getting any closer to Amazon in terms of retail.
I disagree, man. Walmart's not. And you know what? Here's the thing. I had our friend Barbara. She comes to the show a lot. And I was just on a conversation with her, and we were talking about certain things, all Amazon world, especially since I kind of exited my business, that she was like thinking about what it's like and how does that feel. And she asked me if we were going to do something about on the subject of uh, Temu and Shein and how that's impacting Walmart, Amazon. So Amazon's getting hit on multiple sides right now, and I think we should talk about that because it's not as insignificant as you would think.
That makes sense, but you always have to bring up the thing that they have that nobody else really has.
What's that?
AWS, and that's thriving.
Well,
And
I mean, no, I'm just talking about
that's printing money, and that allows them to get away with some of the stuff that's going on the retail side.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been a thing, but I mean, they still want to keep. I mean, look, even if they had just AWS and the retail side went to crap, they would have to prop up the retail side with AWS money, which ain't going to be fun.
Yeah, but it's printing so much money that it's basically funding everything else that Amazon does. You actually, it's I guess it's three buckets. It's AWS, it's the ad platform, which I think that's like a $40 billion business now, and there's the subscription stuff on the Prime side. I mean, those subscriptions are also printing money, and so that's kind of propping up the problems or the issues that Amazon is
But
facing.
all those two depend on the platform. I mean, we're not going to if the selection is not there, I'm not going to take the Prime offer. So I mean that has to be there, or Prime doesn't work. And if it's not there, then I'm not advertising on the platform because the people aren't there. I mean, it all works together.
Kind of, I guess you're right. It does work together, but things that Amazon has that the others don't are really important things that help Amazon maintain the machine, so to speak.
For a time, it'll prime that pump for a long time, but still, they've got competition on the retail side coming into the market.
And I'm guessing China is always going to be a main threat.
Yeah.
I don't know why India isn't as much of a main threat. They've got they're the most, they actually overtook China for the most populous country.
Yeah, but they got, I mean, the infrastructure there versus here is a whole different model. And that's why Amazon has never really had a good, entry into India.
Right. I know they tried.
Right.
They've been trying forever.
So it's a different beast.
Anyway,
we'll see.
Yeah.
We need to talk on that, though. I want to talk on that one day.
All right. We should definitely do that.
Do a little research on that.
We will do that at another time. Because
we'll do it around Prime too.
When do you think that's going to be? Like October?
It's coming up very soon.
They don't really do a big announcement anymore.
They don't do a big announcement, but they do let us know on the back end when we have to have our, sales in place. So I do keep up on that stuff.
Oh yeah, let me ask you before you go. By the way, are you still in that program for Black commerce sellers? Are they still
now?
Sounds like there's a story there.
No, it's not that. It's just that as we get more and more out of that old business, the time to be spending doing that is just kind of, we'll see. But yeah, I had a really good conversation with my rep a couple of weeks ago. So yes, we're still in the Black Business Accelerator. We'll see how long that lasts.
All righty. And on that note, folks,
at least to the end of the year, I think, for sure.
Okay.
Holiday.
And we should be back the end of next week, right?
Yes.
We will be back, and if you can't wait to watch us at 5 o'clock on Friday, you can watch us at noon Eastern on Friday as part of the Small Biz Trends Small Business Breakthrough. What is it called? Breakdown. The breakdown.
The breakdown.
The breakdown.
Oh, it's only 2 weeks in, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
And like you always say, I get there late and leave early. so.
late, and I also say late and wrong. So you got to make sure you say, oh, yeah, late and wrong.
No.
Yeah.
And never wrong.
Always.
Always right.
And on that note, folks, we hope you have a great weekend, and we shall see you next week.
Later, folks.
It's time to do this. I'm out.
Peace.